Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play that meets every Tuesday night. Last time, Cyrus rejoined the party as they made their way out of the shrine to Bala's scale after meeting the two Green Dragon siblings, Armashal and Indrix. The party then had to catch Cyrus up on all that he had missed, explaining within the confines and security of a Mordenkainen's private sanctum, and within that a tiny hut, that they had agreed to an exchange with Azurai, a blue dragon claiming to be the grandchild of Elsamenth, child of Tiamat. The deal would be that they would give over Elsamenth's scale, preventing the party at large from sealing Elsamenth, and in return, Azurai would give them both the scale of Karasoth and the scale of Bala, with which to seal those children of Tiamat. The ultimate scheme being that Elsamenth will be the only child of Tiamat allowed to remain within the material plane. All the others will be returned to Hell and sealed there. Party seems pretty well on board with this, and Laramundus just has to call up Nalia and let her know that the plan has changed from targeting Karasoth as their co-conspirator to Elsamenth. This is unfortunately a hard sell, as she's already begun to get this political ball rolling. But after receiving assurances that this is the plan they want to go with, she agrees to make those alterations to what she will be telling, or what she has told, leaders of other nations. After what Jebel has deemed is an appropriate amount of time, they remove the scale of Elsamenth from Lairs pack and head back down into the shrine to hand it over to Elsamenth. Elsamenth is bothered by the appearance of Cyrus, who was not with the party before, and they explain the chaos curse that pops him in and out of existence. He is a bit concerned that this will affect their ability to serve him, but they make assurances that it will not. At this point, Azurai accepts the scale of Elsamenth from Endar, and something happens as he retracts his body back, his neck back up on top of this strange archway over the altar containing the other scales. All of you are going to feel these odd fluctuations of power within the room. And you're going to see rapidly flashing in and out of existence piles of bloody bodies around the altar beneath Azurai. And he is going to seem momentarily disoriented before dropping the scale amongst the other two, gripping the other two, the red and the green, and tossing them to the floor as though to get them away from him as best he can. They are going to roll separately toward the party, and you're going to be able to see as the way that these bodies appear and vanish rapidly, like 6 times a second. It looks disorienting. Is going to slow again to what you are used to when holding a single scale, as these two come towards you. Now, for Cyrus, I want you to do 2 things for me.
He's having mic trouble.
Oh no. Okay, well, then, let me just get to a channel where he's probably responding. Okay, in any event, Cyrus, I need you to make a saving throw for me. I need you to make an intelligence saving throw, first of all. DC on this is going to be 14. 20. Alright. You are able to determine that as the scales are moving apart, there is an area where they do not overlap that is pulsing the anti-magic, and that's bad for you and the spells affecting you. So now I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw to get yourself into an area where their fields do overlap. This one's going to be a 17. Mostly just because there's a lot of bodies in your way.
It's a lot of what in Norway?
Bodies? You guys. He's positioned himself at the outer edge of the group, and now he needs to get to the middle. Make your save. You get in between the two scales. You notice, with the intelligence saving throw, that the area where they do overlap their fields seems to be free of this pulsing of anti-magic. Do you want to do something about that? Perhaps you would like to be the one to snatch them up. Yeah, that does seem to be the case, because of your intelligence saving throw, they seem to cancel one another out in the area of anti-magic. Okay. You are able to grab the two rolling spheres off the ground. Cyrus is now holding the red and green scales. Azurai sits atop the archway, looking slightly dismayed, but not entirely surprised. He says, "This part of our deal is complete, then, voice of change. Take the scales and seal my aunt and uncle, as it will." He's going to eye Laramendus and say, "If there is anything you desperately need to complete your task for me, you know that you can send to me safely. I do not promise to aid you unless it directly benefits me, of course."
Laramendus will bow a bit and say, "Thank you for the permission."
He's going to seem to wince again, looking down at the flashing bodies on the ground, and he shakes his head. Says, "Well, as you can see, I tried to make it a bit more pleasant in here for you." And he's going to take one of his large foretalons and wave it toward the door and say, "Go about your business. I don't plan to stay here longer than I have to."
One quick question. That might have been answered while I was restarting my Discord. In my efforts to avoid getting anti-magic, did I step on a trap?
Roll me like a d6.
2.
No, you managed not to spring any traps on yourself. Although, when the magic in the room started fluttering greatly, you did notice that several traps around him sprung up and then retracted themselves. And the trap that that Vendar had locked in place seemed to be able to magically unlatch itself and retract.
Huh. Good to know.
So at this time, you don't see any traps up, but you did see a couple activate earlier, and you didn't hit any. So, he has indicated that you should take your leave of this place. Do you do so, party?
Yep.
Okay.
Again, bowing before leaving.
And I'll follow out somebody else who actually saw what the traps were.
Azurai seems very pleased every time someone makes the effort to bow to him.
I mean, I curse you as
shit.
well before leaving.
Yeah, Vendor will too.
Alrighty.
As will Raiken.
Then he will seem rather pleased with each of you.
Yeah, quick bow, and then whoop, out the door.
Out the door. So, party. You are now in possession of 2 of the scales of the children of Tiamat. You find that their anti-magic fields cancel one another out, and while you do feel the depressed emotion from the power they're exuding, your magic items are unaffected. What do you want to do now?
I think that Theramendus had expressed a desire or an intent to go to Psychocelthus next. There was also the reply from Kazanari that we need an answer. We need to reply back and answer about where the black scale should go.
Well, unless you ended your spells from earlier, there should still be a tiny hut and a private sanctum for you to enter.
There would not be a tiny hut because I left the tiny hut, so
right. All right. Then there should
away.
still be a private sanctum.
Yeah. So there's just like a wall of mist that we can see. And Laura Mendes heads towards it. I can't, for the life of me, remember where we had been when we. Okay.
Actually, I think it was this one. Yeah.
It's the one that Lairs under now. I wanted the closest big shade.
Yeah. So, party, you have just stood before a potentially ancient blue dragon. Come away with your lives, and in fact, kind of made friends with him. Friends in big air quotes. How do you feel?
Yeah, made colleagues with them.
Accomplices.
Well.
A business partner.
Acquaintances.
Nice.
Actually, we sold our souls, really.
Yeah, you probably should.
When we get into the private sanctum, Larmendus will turn to Leah and say, "Can you, telepath? Can you cast detect magic and see if there are any invisible sensors in here from somebody that physically entered and cast something?"
Yeah.
You cast a detect magic. You do not
Obviously.
find...
Well, obviously when I'm catching up with the rest.
Yeah.
There they are.
You catch up with everybody. You enter the mist. You cast detect magic as requested. You do not detect any invisible sensors.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
So, we need to know where we want the black scale to go. I suppose the questions are more, do we want to fetch it? And so we should pick someplace close to Tuka, which is where it is. Or do we want to not be holding the 3 of them together until we need to? Or should we figure out some way that we are not in possession of so many of these things in case anything happens to us?
I don't think if there's any immediate threat that the scale is going to be found or taken to worry about grabbing it right away. If we know where it is, we know where it is. To quickly obtain.
We know that it's in or near Tuka, and we know that Kazunari can help us in the acquisition of it. We
sorry.
don't know the timeline on that. If, say, we appear outside of Tuka, how long it would take for us to get it and then leave.
Oh, the stress with looking or dealing with this blue dragon. I totally forgot that he doesn't actually have it. I also drawn a blank. Where's our last one at?
The last scale is in or near Tuka, held by remnants of the Platinum Sentinels or their associates. So I can reply to her and tell her that they should continue holding it if they feel that they can keep it safe until we need to make our move, and we can plan to fetch it when that's going to happen. Or we can try and coordinate some way of getting it sooner. I don't think that we have the capacity to get it now.
Wait, Tresnor. Why am I drawing a
Is
blank?
guarding the white scale, which we only need if we are going to attempt to have the army fight.
Yes.
Which will be a difficult lie to maintain now. My concern is that as soon as we said that we were going to be the ones to do something, he's having some manner of he's keeping track of where we might be. There had been 2 scrying sensors that were in the area when
We don't even have to worry about that one anyways, period, because that one's still sealed.
right. But if we want the army to help us in the fight, we would need the white scale which they would take with them to attempt to unseal Widimir, and then we would need to do something to. I suppose the unsealing of Widimir would likely happen during the fight with the other ones, just to try and balance that a little bit, and then try and use that and prevent things from happening. So I guess that is another question of, do we want to attempt to use the army and lie our way through that, or are we fully and openly committing against it and depending on our negotiations with the different countries to help us find the military support that we need to deal with the 3 dragons that need to be sealed. If Tatsuya is keeping an eye on us, I don't think that us having gone to Volinar would have necessarily triggered any particular concerns about things, since actually, I don't know if Tatsuya is aware of the party's dealings with Nalia.
I think he is, just because he was with you during your trip, into the Feywild, and you talked about her, even if he wasn't in the room when you talked to her.
Yeah, so basically, because I was like, if he knows the party's relationship with her and knows that basically if we need to equip ourselves for something, or Laramendus wants to, is about to do something dangerous and might want to say goodbye, then it's a reasonable first stop in the thing. So that might not in itself have been suspicious.
No, I think
but
that you
then
guys
going here becomes suspicious.
I think you guys talk about her enough that
cool.
he can, at the very least, surmise that you have a good working relationship with her.
Yeah. Cool. That'd been my hope. So if he is keeping tabs on where we are, I don't think that the stopover in Volinar would have drawn his suspicion. If he is aware that instead of going from Volinar to Sudaran, we came here, then I think he will assume that we have double-crossed him. I suppose we could, tomorrow, use a commune spell to see if he is aware of our actions to some extent. I imagine that he has people in positions of power that are sending him information, though, and if this knowledge about the dragons that Nalia has put into motion, I think that it is likely that before we would need to get back to him with the white scale, discussions will have already begun about things. So I would be unsurprised if he became aware of that beforehand, which is my concern with getting the white scale and then trying to lie.
If he is aware, then he's going to try to get the white scale.
That's reasonable. Should we then just alert Tresnor that Tatsuya is going to make another attempt? Via sending, not via physically going there.
I have a
we could-
concern, Scholar.
Go ahead.
What would stop Tatsuya from simply attacking, destroying the party, and taking the scales you have when you were to show up without the white scale, but with the other three?
Oh, I think that if we aren't going to lie to him with the scale, we just don't see him again. Or we make precautions around the scales, but I am concerned that he would just kill us on sight. So I don't want to
So
give
how
him
do
that
you
opportunity.
expect Sealing to work then when the day comes and his army is there?
So part of my hope, as discussions are happening amongst the leaders of the world and actions are being taken to deal with the dragons, is that if it becomes known that this is what people are intending, and if it becomes known that the blue scale is that Elsameth is going to be away, he has no reason to continue dealing with his siblings if he is going to throw them under that wagon. Then their plan to kill all of the dragons is meaningless, and that it will dishearten enough people that they won't be able to do anything. Although Elsameth showing his true colors too early would run the risk of scaring away the other three,
You
which
do know something from your role about dragons the other day, about blue dragons, that you can, with your very high intelligence and wisdom, make inferences from.
okay.
Your character knows that tactically, blue dragons tend to make use of their ability to attack from long range more than other dragons do. And so it would not be unusual for the blue dragons to back off as a line of archers and fire from behind the other dragons.
Mm-hmm.
If they are working with you, this is a position that they could make it look good from without actually doing anything to help the other dragons, ultimately.
Mhm.
This is what you can infer, if they're really on your side.
Mhm.
And given that Elsamantha seems to, according to Azurai, want this too, they would want you to be able to seal the other dragons. They would not want to tip their hand here.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was like a 30 on Arcana, so...
Yeah. I think I rolled the 19 on die, so you got 30.
You really paid attention in that class.
It's more while all of you waste time with like sleep. Laramendus just talks with Ash for like hours on end.
I have vast stores of knowledge on the natural and magical aspects of this world.
So if that's the case, and they don't want to tip their hands about that, but still, like beforehand, and still make a show of it, then I guess the question then becomes, is there anything we can do to prevent the army from attempting to make their move? Because it is clear what everyone else is doing, and their options are fight, other armies and the dragons, or just not. And I think that while there are certainly zealots amongst Tatsuya's forces, I would imagine that at least some reasonable portion of the people who might be okay with with other people dying because of the Tiamat coming back and then being killed, would not want to be the ones to fight their fellow humanoids. But I don't know him or the vibe of the army enough to know for sure about that. So the question still stands of, are we going to, I suppose, hand off the scales that we have, waiting for the proper moment, and bring him the white scale and attempt to use the army? Or are we going to do something to disrupt it and not be in their line of fire?
The rest of you know from all of the discussions that you've had about this that there are going to be a significant number of dragons there. That the army, or armies, are going to be useful to you in fighting the lesser dragons while you deal with the children specifically.
Calling adult and ancient dragons lesser dragons.
Sorry, just calls them as a season.
I think that's how the ancient ones feel.
Lesser.
Everyone else is so much input.
What I'm saying is that Laramendus is trying to discuss your strategy here about how you present yourselves to the armies, and I'm telling you that you guys know, because you've been discussing this for days in character, that you kind of need those armies. Without them, you're going to have to be fending off dragons yourselves while trying to take down the children and then perform rituals to seal them.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I have a hard enough time concentrating as it is. While I'm under, a dragon.
How many dragons we got left? Or we got 2 scales left to get, right?
One.
We have one scale left to acquire, and we are reasonably certain of that. It is all but in our possession.
The question is, what will you do about the one you kinda don't want to acquire, the white scale? Because you kinda want to have Tatsuya and his army on your side until the last minute.
But
I think we should try to verify whether he knows we've.
Whether or not the jig is up.
Yeah.
Well, you know that there's no scrying sensors right now, so you can speak freely for the moment.
Perhaps commune just to see if he knows what our true plans are.
I would love to. I have already failed a commune today.
Yeah.
I mean,
If we were to go to Daiko Southis, though, I'm sure there are temples we could pay for commune.
We could do always. I don't know about community because we just gotta figure out a plan and just do it.
Also, Leah can scry, right? We could try having her scry on him.
yes, but scrying's much more easily detected, as we've kind of just seen. So,
I mean, to be fair, I don't think my precautions here are easy.
yours, but detect magic can be used to find it, and that is a first level spell, which, while granted is still a spell, he has access to mages.
Does have access to mages.
Would they have reason to constantly be having detect magic active?
Sufficiently paranoid and had enough spellcasters at my disposal, I would absolutely have them. You could very easily have two that are cycling through casting it as a ritual, and just make sure that one of them is with you at all times.
Well, we could know.
Some of the demons' warlocks were there as well. If they can do what Leah used to, or perhaps still does, I'm kind of unclear on that, then he wouldn't even have that many resources. He wouldn't have to spend that many resources on doing so.
We could also test if he's keeping an eye on us and already knows what's going on. If we get the black scale, go to him, say that we got all four, knowing that we give up the blue scale, and then he calls us out on it.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. If we go to him and he calls us out on it, we're dead.
Yeah,
if we go to him and he knows that we have the other three.
Yeah, there's no reason for us to have gotten the other three if we're going to help him in his plan. His plan doesn't require.
He literally just wants the white scale.
If we take the scales there with us, because he's not going to kill us if we don't have the scales on us.
But the thing is, we don't even have to.
The only scale he wants is the white one.
Scales. If we tell him we have scales, then that's going to throw us all under the bus anyways.
He's already done what he needs for the other scales. He just needs the white one to unseal Whittemere.
I guess I need to think more. My brain's I'm not here right now, apparently. I'm sorry, guys.
If we think it's possible with the time we have, I think we're looking into making a decoy. Perhaps reusing one of the older scales if possible. One of the other scales if possible. Because if we can give him something, and yet he buys it, then he really will be stuck with no options at the last minute.
Yeah, but then we'll need the scale to seal the dragons. If we give him one of the other scales disguised as the white scale, we'll have to get it back from him before we can seal the dragon.
Well, perhaps not that one, but, like, maybe not that, but we're trying to manufacture something that just... That's
knowing how
that's sole purpose is to be a decoy.
But here's also another drawback of that. Now that I think about it, is if we make a decoy and hand it to him, the way he is, he'll probably drop it right freaking there and then try to unseal it immediately.
That's what I was thinking. Is how long do you think he's just going to hold on to it and not unseal the dragon? So that he can get
The
started.
length of getting to Wittimir's corpse.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess I was perhaps unclear. Wait. Do we know where Wittimir's corpse is?
Lara Mendez's understanding was that Wittimir's corpse was in the north.
Mine too.
This has come up. The party remembers that this discussion came up with Tatsuya himself. Tatsuya has indicated that he knows the exact location of the body. The party does not. And the only other person who might be able to tell you that is Tresnor, who told you that he wasn't going to tell you that, and only told you that he made sure that the body was as physically far away from the scale as possible. Which is why the party has inferred that it's in the north, since he went to the south.
That or on a different plane of existence. He was able to move the whole body.
Nobody seems to have really used that type of method on the rest of this thus far.
Either way, if Tatsuya knows exactly where it is, he's going to immediately gun for it as soon as he gets the scale.
Right, but getting to... If he is at Wittimir's corpse, he will... I would be surprised if he wants to unseal it before beginning the fight with the other dragons. Just to not have to fight 4 at once and aim more for fighting 3 and then 3 and then 2 and then 1.
He planned on fighting all of them at once.
Yeah, well, who says that he wouldn't just automatically start the fight then anyway? To be
Why
like,
would
all
he
right,
start
I
the
have
fight
the
if
scale. He was already planning on, having his troops attack anyways, so, even when they're not ready.
There's no point in him beginning this fight unless they have the white scale, though. Because the fight is pointless if they cannot also kill Wittimir.
But you can see, even with his army not even ready, that
they are not ready. Many will die, but...
I know, exactly. So what is to stop him to just literally start fighting all the dragons as soon as he gets the scale?
The concern that he would run through all of his human resources before the scale gets to him and they can fight Wittimir.
Oh, the other thing, if you mean, fighting the dragons now, while the scale is nowhere, a week out?
I mean, literally, he gets the scale and he's able to he's going to want to unseal and immediately start fighting.
I mean, that's possible.
But yes, that requires him getting there.
I'm assuming he has to be close enough to be able to do it as quickly as he wants.
I think the army still needs to march. Wittimir, I don't believe, was also sealed on the Storm Refile?
Storm Refile, it seems not terribly
unlikely that there would be 2 dragon corpses in the same place.
I mean, as you saw... As you saw with Shisharan, it is not impossible for someone to move the remains and perform the ritual at the remains' new location, but it does seem that the ritual must be performed at the remains' current location.
And given the time frame, even if Wittimir's remains were at the army's current location, wherever they are when... I suppose if the army is carting around the corpse, then they could start things a little early. But I think that they still need to get to where he is, and they need to start the fight with the other dragons before starting to bring back Wittimir, just for the timing of it. It's a 2-hour window?
So, according to Kazanari's notes, it seems that 2 hours is the maximum safe zone. that is how long the minimum time that a soul remains in the lock, but it can remain in there longer. So if they want to be sure that the ritual is going to work, all of the children must be killed within a 2-hour window.
Yeah. So the army needs to be engaged with all of the dragons. I suppose he could have sent a hopefully sufficient number of people to where Widemir's corpses, get them the scale, and then have them fight him while the rest of the army goes to deal with the other ones. That is, I suppose, possible. If I were him, I would be concerned about splitting my forces that way. Because if any single smaller group of the army fails and it's too far to be bolstered by other parts of the army, then everyone is dead. And all 5 dragons are up. Which is, I think, the worst situation for him.
The worst situation would be losing the Tiamat so that Tiamat's running rampant with no one to stop her.
Fair.
Well, if he had gotten the scale from Tresnor in the first place, that probably would have happened anyways. We'd have all 5 dragons running around, whether his army was able to take them on or not. Not also to say that he knows the scales, so what makes us think that giving him a quote-unquote decoy is going to trick him?
Because he hadn't seen the white one?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he did see the white one. I think we all saw the white one.
No, he was. By the time he went towards
he was Frog.
Yeah, by the time he went towards the scale, he was not him.
He was a snail, and none of you saw the white scale technically either, because Tresnor made sure to hold it in ways that it was not physically visible.
Okay.
You do know, however, from your memory of that time, that there were agents of Tatsuya that had physically acquired it, who were struck down by Tresnor.
Yeah.
But those were... But since those were killed, unless he has spoken with the dead, which I suppose is not outside the realm of possibility, it'll be difficult for him to identify it.
I don't mind telling you that it's pretty unlikely that he's done that, considering those people fell in a village that seems to know when Dragonborn are in it, and you spent the better part of the last 2 weeks with him, and he wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of him doing it at that place, but as he's been allied with celestial beings, he might be able to go a bit more to the source.
I see. Fair. That's a good thought. I was thinking only in terms of the Speak with Dead spell.
I
So
still
you gotta
think
smash everyone, all the jaws of everyone you fight.
Raiken.
I still think that since he's dealt with the scales, just because he hasn't seen the white scale doesn't mean that he won't be able to pick out a decoy or a phony.
Okay. Then do you have any ideas?
I mean, my idea, it's basically we go there and we just admit what we're doing. Or we try to give him a phony, piss him off even more for trying to trick him again. And either way, we're probably either going to fight him. It's just we either fight him and maybe have the army someone on our side, or have the army totally against us because we tricked them again.
Well, he is a super powerful, he's a lich in full now. He might be able to make the scale himself for us. Make the decoy itself. Be like, hey, can you do this for us? This is our plan.
I think you and everyone else were talking about different he's. I think they were talking about Tatsuya, and you're talking about Tresor,
Tresor.
right?
Sorry, yes.
Which is a relevant point to bring up.
Yeah, like, if Tresor is aware of what we're doing, I think he would be at least willing to aid us in some fashion.
I think Tresnor would kill us.
Really?
We gave a dragon the blue scale in order
Right.
to allow
And-
one of the dragons to remain in existence.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
you're
he,
right.
Power.
I
I think
think
he would kill us on the spot.
I think in general he doesn't want us to come back anyways. I think he would fight us as soon as he saw it.
Yeah.
We can omit that part. We don't have to lie, but we just don't have to tell them.
So we're either fighting Tresor or we're fighting Tatsuya, I think, at this point.
I mean, we will fight Tatsuya no matter what. When push comes to shove at the end, we will have turned on him, and I don't think he will enjoy that turn of events.
No, he will not. Especially after how in his eyes, we betrayed him at least once or twice now.
And yet he keeps giving you chances, like you're his little brother or something, and he keeps hoping that you'll see things his way.
Fooled you.
Yeah, I think 3 strikes is gonna be it at this point.
At least for your friends.
Raiken, I'm only killing your friends for your good.
They're obviously a bad influence.
For your own good.
But okay, so we feel that having Tatsuya's army there will be worth the risk, just so that we have another force that's already done not sufficient, but some. Yes, it was a Spaceballs reference.
Army.
Army, yes. Not sufficient, but some training on dealing with how to attempt to deal with dragons. Which means that we need a scale. I don't know how easily we could deal with Tresnor, especially in his more full state.
Yukikaze, would you make for me a wisdom saving throw?
Alright, we're gonna try the
Okay, at this.
shiny dice. See if the shiny dice are feeling lucky today. Sparkly dice. Wait, that's not the 20. This is the 20. I have no pluses. Wait, is wisdom charisma?
Wisdom
is
not
wisdom.
charisma. Wisdom is wisdom.
I told you, I am out of it today. My
okay.
brain is completely.
It was
frozen.
just a funny question. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
hey. I think I know I have an inspiration. Hold on, I need to bromo.
You are also within 30 feet of Raiken.
No, I rolled a 1, so no. I think I'm gonna triple check that I have inspiration, and we're going to fire this dice and use the old dice.
Can confirm it is a 1.
Thank you.
We're firing this dice. It is toast for today.
Goodbye, die.
I have no inspiration. Okay. Oh wait, I can use it.
You
I
can
got.
make me talk.
I can make you talk.
I have Indomitable, which
You do have Indomitable. Go for it.
saving throw, which we're gonna use Indomitable because screw that one.
Okay.
All right.
I also really agree with Sam that honestly, if people don't have
Oh, hey, that is much better.
inspiration at the beginning of a session, you should just start every session with an inspiration.
No pluses for wisdom. Plus Raiken is a 19.
A 19. All right. Also, if any of you doesn't have an inspiration, including Yukikaze, please fill in an inspiration. I think it's a good idea.
What?
Honestly. Yeah. I'm still going to award them for people doing cool things, but I think that starting each session with an inspiration makes people more willing to use them.
Yeah, and then also like you know you're good to use it when it's comfortable, and then also if you use it, like early on, and you do a cool thing, you still get it. So like you can just use it again.
Yeah.
All right. So
You
what's
can do more cool things.
So 19, you are a battle tactician. You are a person who knows your enemy, kind of thinks out ahead, plan things out to form the best engagement he can with what he has. And with that, you know that a lot of the problems that the party keeps coming up with heading into this fight against the dragon revolve around Tatsuya. And so you begin to kind of think, well, how do I isolate that problem? How could we deal with that? And because you know that if you try to fight him going into this, if you just walk up and say, hey, we didn't bring the white scale, we're going to fight the dragons, you're going to end up fighting him and his whole army. And if you lead them on, find a way to trick them, then once that plan is enacted, even if you've got, say, at that point, a dragon or two down, you're going to end up fighting him and his whole army. And you know that, at least when it was on Stormy Vial, that was, like, somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 people. Like, that's not a small force. You'll die. But you do know that you have other assets. You have, for instance, his second-in-command, which is Thandros Draknir, who wants to believe in you guys, who thinks that there is another way to do this. And the army, because he's the second-in-command of Tatsuya, would listen to him. So if you could isolate Tatsuya, fight him and not the army, remove him from command somehow, that might be a way in. That is what your tactical brain of Yukikaze tells you. That is an option. Not something you have to do, but a way to look at this. Another path to victory.
Mutiny? It's in a sense kind of mutiny, right?
Sort of. There might be a spell that your party has command of that would put him away from the army, or at least put you and him away from the army, so that you could, I don't know, lay the smackdown on him, and then have the army led by Thandros, perhaps? But that seems like an option if the real problem with all your plans is Tatsuya, then you believe that there are ways you have to deal with just Tatsuya. You do know that if you don't enact them, you'll be dealing with Tatsuya and his army.
Alright, everyone get that? That's a lot to digest and regurgitate.
Just use the wish spell to make Tatsuya appear before us. Beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, an option.
If we could predict Derek's chaos, or his chaos, have him just grab a hold of Tatsuya and go with him. But we can't predict that. Anyways. That was a silly thought.
You cannot predict it in character.
We could lure him away and surprise him, and I could do a lot of damage right off the bat.
I mean, there are certainly applications of several spells that could be used.
We gotta be careful because we'll just end up being assassins at some point. If that's what we're going for. Oh, I don't know how well I sit with that.
Oh man, Vendar, how will you live with yourself?
It's, I killed a lot
Almost
worse.
like
Killed a lot more people who were completely innocent. So
What's your subclass called again?
assassin.
It's just called badass. I don't know.
So you guys just got my contribution to the discussion. Go.
Can I make an Arcana check to know if there's any way short of wish that I can, make somebody distant from me no longer distant from me, with them being the one that moves.
I know one out of character.
You may roll Arcana.
I'm blanking on a thing out of character, so that's why I'm saying
Yeah.
this is gonna roll. That is an 11 on die, which is a 31.
Alright. You should probably DM me, Derek, what you're thinking.
All right.
Range? No, so that wouldn't work. I mean, it technically, it does meet your, specific requirements, but I think it's not, really helpful. Okay.
Not actually the one that I would want. Which thing?
There's one called Reality Break, which, if they fail a save, a number of things could happen. One of them is that you can wormhole them.
Okay.
But the range is like 60 feet, so...
Oh, yeah.
It's not what you're looking for. So the one that seems most to work with it outside of Wish is Gate, but it seems to say here you can speak the name of a specific creature. If that creature is on a plane other than the one you're on, the portal opens in the named creature's immediate vicinity and draws the creature through it to the nearest unoccupied space on your side of the portal. But it seems like you would have to go to your demi-plane and then cast Gate for that to work.
I mean,
Well, I mean, we could go to the Feywild.
Yeah. You just...
Holy man.
It does specifically say they have to be not on your plane. I'm reading that off
so
the spell
go
description.
to the Feywild and pull him in.
I mean, I'm on Team Demi-Plane because that's harder for him to leave.
And it's an expensive 9th level spell. It has a component cost of a diamond worth 5,000 GP.
That is a not insignificant portion of the residuum that I have on my person.
It's one of 6 sorcerer spells that have material costs.
It's a fifth of my residuum.
Yeah. And because it's 9th, you wouldn't be able to wish to cast it, so you'd have to learn it.
But we are close to leveling up.
Just need to fight something tough.
So that is an option. I'm sure that the leader of the army suddenly disappearing and then you showing up a little while later and being like, oh, he's not here? Well, I guess we're going to do a different plan. That'll make you look great.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I'm pretty sure I'll say something along the lines of, I'll be back, my brethren.
Shots fired.
I'm not dignifying that with the response. He just scowls at you.
So you could wish, say if you wanted to do something immediate and know that you could do it. Now, to wish, you know that this would have the cost of not duplicating a spell, so it would have...
Yeah, that's why Laraminus was like short of a wish, because I don't want to...
But remember, so just as a re-explain for those who have wish and think of... It's powerful! You can do crazy things outside of duplicating 8th level and lower spells. It's just, it has the known side effects of non-duplication, which is the casting damage and stuff like that. The ability to lose the ability to cast Wish. But then, again, it's going to have that sort of monkey's paw-esque thing, where depending on what you're asking for, there will be other side effects. It could be to you, they could be to the world immediately around you, it could be somewhere else. So there's a little bit of unknown, a little bit of risk anytime you use Wish that way, but depending on what you're trying to accomplish, it could be super worth it. It's just that other effect is usually by some measure proportional to what you're asking for. So teleporting one person from wherever they are to you might cause an injury to you, or it might slightly damage the area immediately around where they left or where they appeared, because that's kind of a small thing, teleporting one person. Just to give you a little bit of a sense of what these costs to using Wish this way are. Teleporting the entire army would have a larger effect. Just wishing that all the dragons were dead, you could do. It would have a significantly larger effect, because the consequences in either direction are much more far-reaching. So, just so that it's up in the brain space to think about, it's not entirely to scare people off of using Wish this way, just to have a concept of what kind of effects do I think will be caused, and are they worth it? Because the answer can be yes.
So that means I could wish my clan back?
If you have a friend who can cast Wish and you convince them to do that, yeah.
It's just a hard sell because it's typically, at least in my mind, I can be entirely wrong about this, but I would expect the cost to be more oriented towards the one who cast it.
Well, so, the one who casts it always suffers the penalty to casting for the next, whatever they roll, days, and the fact that they could lose the ability to ever cast Wish again, that 30% stacking chance. But outside of that, wishing a whole lot of people back to life, you're going to think of, what's the material cost of casting that many resurrections, and, how long might that take, and so what might the effect on you, might the cost be taken out of you, might the cost be taken out of the world? You're bringing a lot of people back to life. So, are a bunch of people going to be traded? That's a possible outcome. You could be sacrificing somebody else to bring those people back. Or it could, damage some unknown, unpredictable area of the world to take that energy to make that exchange.
This destroys a fuck ton of diamond mines.
Yeah, it could.
Can it, just give up the armor of Bahamut to bring everyone back?
I mean, you don't usually get to choose, but, you could try that. There's nothing saying that you couldn't attempt to control the sacrifice. That's a powerful sacrifice. I will give you that. That's a powerful sacrifice. I can't guarantee you that it would work, but I would very much consider it. That's an interesting proposition.
It is not an unreasonable thing to attempt. Should you feel that the thing is, actually worth it, in the, scale of power kind of thing, as a, to balance that out and try and do that. Because I feel like if you knew that the thing wasn't, then it would probably just blow up more in your face, just for, trying to fuck with reality and not mess with reality.
Well, I know we're never gonna
It's
need this
look at
armor.
you, mister.
Interesting thoughts. So, just so you know, these are things that can be done. That these are also the reasons there aren't high-level wizards just casting Wish willy-nilly. There's always a cost.
Theoretically, we could just wish for the dragons to be resealed, right?
Theoretically. You could do that. The cost of that would be, as your character would surmise, high, just because if you think about the amount of effort it would take to do that without Wish, there's going to be some exchange of that effort for the spell.
That'd be very risky.
It'd be risky, yeah.
Yeah, you're also, the one risk you're running is just it not doing anything. The spell just not working, because it has decided that there isn't a reasonable enough balance to what you're doing, which still has the effects on the caster. But then there's what happens when the world realizes that this is possible. It's a different set of...
I would like to think that in general, the wishes can be accommodated, but their costs are unpredictable.
Yeah.
Outside of, I know that this cost is going to be higher than that cost. You can predict that. Say, well, teleporting one person to me, that's going to have this cost. Sealing all the dragons for me, that's going to definitely be a higher cost. What that cost is, not sure until you do it. But I would put out there that, I don't like the idea that you could cast the spell, receive consequences, and not have it work. I find that to be less interesting than knowing the spell will work, but not knowing what the consequences will be.
Well, we have seen that happen. Cyrus's dad did that to get Leo's brain back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it injured him greatly, and it stopped him from being able to cast spells. The cost outside of the... because the spell damage is the normal cost of not duplicating an 8th spell, was the injury he took for making a new brain, which was minor in the grand scheme of things. He didn't damage the world or anyone else, it simply blew back on him.
The implications of what you might be able to do is kind of scary.
Terrifying.
You could wish a god that kind of cost what that had, I wonder.
That makes you wonder if it's never been done before. How different the world might have been.
By the time most people become powerful enough that they can cast Wish, they are generally hesitant to risk their power.
The good thing about most of these people who get this powerful being wizards and not sorcerers.
I feel like it is much easier to become a 20th level wizard than it is to become a 20th level sorcerer.
A lot of sorcerers explode before this.
Exactly.
But also, you can have a simulacrum cast Wish, right?
Yeah, but that's why it's still dangerous, because the effects are not just to the caster.
Yeah.
So the simulacrum could fail the thing and never be able to cast Wish again. Big whoop. It couldn't have ever cast Wish again anyway, and it'll be perhaps damaged and unable to cast other spells. But depending on how powerful that Wish is, the effects are... the costs could still be paid by the world, regardless if it's done by a simulacrum.
If we were to decide to do that, then we'd probably want to do it with the simulacrum rather than risk a party's member ability to cast it.
To bring Tatsuya to our presence so we can annihilate him.
Yeah, if we want to use a spell, if you want to use that, then it would make sense to have a simulacrum use it.
I think that every time you use it, there's a little bit less love in the world. I got distracted by 8-bit theater now.
I am back.
Welcome back. I've lost it. Oh yes, the likely repercussions of summoning him are small enough that it is a thing that I don't think is extremely unreasonable necessarily.
No.
And if we were to use Wish to do that, then we could do that with a simulacrum, yes. I almost feel more comfortable using the gate option for that anyway, but the biggest downside to gate in my mind for that is, I guess, paladins and spell banishment. Is it just a regular I know some paladins get it, because I know the Oath of Vengeance gets it. Is it only Oath of Vengeance that gets it? Or can all paladins get it, and that's just one that's auto-prepared? I don't remember how paladins work.
Well, on the flip side, they don't have counterspell.
You can roll religion, so...
Okay. I am good at that. Theoretically. I am real good at that. That is a 33.
Third.
I rolled a 19.
I'll cast. So
It
for
is
the
one of
yeah, it's one of the bonus spells for that oath. So paladins in general don't get it. Just some oaths get it.
Okay.
Do we know what oath Tatsuya is?
You believe.
Uh,
I think
Makes
he.
sense.
I
We
believe he
traveled.
said it. There are other oaths that get it. Oath of the Watchers gets it.
Is Tatsuya's Oath of Devotion?
I think he's Oath of Ancients, right?
I
Yes.
don't even sort of recall.
He's the one that gets the spell saving aura. Because that happened when we were with him.
He is Oath of the Ancients.
So then we'd know that he doesn't have banishment.
You would
right?
know that he does not get banishment from his oath. Or at least, Laramentus knows this, and via him,
Yeah.
you know this.
Yeah.
It's assuming that he'll share that knowledge.
Yeah.
Pretty easy
Because
assumption.
that's yeah, for most things, Laramentus is very open.
He shows up, immediately banishes you.
No, banishes himself was
Oh.
my concern. Because it would take him away from the plane that he was on, and if he maintained concentration, he would stay gone.
Yeah. But he would go to a random location on the material plane.
It's true. So like he could, like fall into lava and then be making lots of concentration checks until he died. Problem solved.
At that point, you probably just take your chance with us over the lava.
He just stops concentrating. He's like, okay. He just comes back extremely burned. It's like, let's talk about this.
And then you start kicking him.
Yeah. Just put down the glass of wine. But yeah, there was the concern, either with Wish or with Gate, of what it looks like on his end.
Well,
We could time it. We could send to Thandros and at a time when he's asleep or something. Or alone.
I mean, Thandros has no way of contacting us in secret,
sure.
at least.
As far as you know, he is not a spellcaster.
As-
He's not a
unless he has
spellcaster.
somebody that he trusts completely. But I am hesitant to bring in more people in that kind of endeavor than
Do you need to be next to someone to cast the telepathic bond? You need to be able to, like, within a range, right?
you need to have touched them during the casting of the spell.
Yeah, so it works anywhere on the plane, but you need to touch them, so that wouldn't work.
Right.
and if you were waiting to pull him, we're not going to be on the same plane as him.
I was saying if we could telepathic bond with Thandros, then we could communicate with him and coordinate, but
Or,
can't do that
yeah,
without being next to him.
but if the purpose is to coordinate when we're going to cast Gate to snatch Tatsuya, we won't be on the same plane as Sandros.
I mean, we could be until 6.5 seconds, like 9 seconds before we cast Gate. The Demiplane is an action, and Gate is, I think, an action.
And I can take care of Demiplane.
Yeah, Gate is an action.
I just want to point out that everybody gives Raiken shit where he touches them to heal them, but Laramentus touches all of us so that he can get in our heads.
He doesn't make a thing out of it. Presentation, my good man.
Just grab him strongly by the knee next time you heal him.
So I guess with Gate, you can stop concentrating, and the person is still there with you once they
I do
get
believe
pulled
so.
through, right? So, like it's the named creature's immediate vicinity. So like he's asleep in his tent.
Yeah.
The gate opens like just outside of his tent, and he's pulled through the opening. Just
Vacuums him up.
I like to think it just opens up underneath them.
There's not even a save.
No.
It just pulls them in.
Yeah. It's real fucking mean.
Dang, it's a 9th level spell.
You gain no
It's a 9th
special
level spell, it's
power over
very
the creature.
expensive.
It is free to act as the GM deems appropriate. It might leave, attack you, or help you. So the idea, they think you're going to be using this to pull in some, like, you know, demon or fae or angel and, like, be like, beseech it to help you, and it might just step back into the portal. But you're going to use it to end the portal as soon as you pull them through and then beat the crap out of a normal person.
You use it to kidnap somebody?
Listen, here, Tatsuya is not normal.
17th level conjuration wizards suck.
And also, when you create the portal in the place, you create it so that they fall.
Yeah.
So that they're prone as soon as they come out of the portal.
Oriented.
Yeah, so they're prone as soon as they come out of the portal. And then you just beat the shit out of them.
Never let them stand up.
In short, it's a murder device.
It really is.
Well,
They were specific.
you'd hope you beat them up before they stand up, but with our group and our rolling, he'll get, like, the turn right after Vendar.
This is exactly why demons and devils do not give you their real names.
Yeah.
They do not want to be gated. Because it says a pseudonym title or nickname does not work. You would have to speak Tatsuya's full true name.
So we couldn't use it
I
on
hope you remember his middle name.
I
I
didn't come
think his
up with a
brother
middle
knows
name.
his middle name.
I'd have to come up
Tatsuya,
with...
next
I
to Lumas.
Alright, I
I
get
didn't
it.
even come up with a middle name for Raiken.
No, you don't need to have a middle name.
I found an interesting twist. What if we speak his whole name and he doesn't come through the gate? I guess it's not really Tatsuya.
Just a corpse falls there. It looks nothing like him.
You know, that would be a very fun plot twist, actually.
It was
Anywho.
never your brother.
He died fighting Bala.
I had an inkling it wasn't him.
But that's the horrifying shenanigans that one can get up to with access to 9th level spells and more money than God aside.
Can make it up to 20 feet in diameter and just take his tent with him.
I was thinking, I mean, it's a good way to just move a large number of people. You have a scout that you know is in a location.
Yeah.
Open up a 20-foot portal and just have everyone run as fast as they can through for a minute.
Yeah, a minute. You could get a big chunk of an army through in a minute.
Yeah.
With the way movement works in D&D.
That's scary for an invasion. You get a high-level wizard inside of a fortified city. They can just bring the whole army in.
You don't even need a high-level wizard inside the city. You just need a high-level wizard who knows the name of somebody in the city.
Like, without trying, without even trying hard, just marching a column of people through a 20-foot portal, that's 1,000 people that you get through in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you really tried
Yeah, no,
to,
that's... God.
Yeah. If you really tried to, like, increase it by, like, just increasing the width of the column and have people move out, like, you could get 2,000.
Or if you don't mind them taking a little fall damage, so that they don't have to get further past the opening of the portal. Even more. So they just come spewing out.
Well, they start falling on top of each other. I don't know.
True. Not a great idea. That's a funny
They have a big
idea.
old pile. Eventually,
I was
they'd
thinking-
stack up past the portal.
You use it to, like, kidnap a general in a command tent.
I mean, that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, but no, like, during the middle of a fight, so
Oh.
now the command tent is the army, the other side of the invading army. Like, God, as long as you can get, that 1,000 people into another plane.
Yeah. You just pull him out and dump your guys through.
Yeah.
Do the old switcheroo. This is a weird version of the switcheroo.
Suddenly, an army starts
God, magic
pouring out
is-
of the command tent.
Magic is terrifying.
Magic is terrifying.
Like a clown car.
I
But yeah, so-
do wish that they had put a little bit more thought into the high-level spell balance, just because there are certain things that are clearly outside the realm of what they had intended, but their wording doesn't prevent it, so I have no reason to prevent it. Like, okay, guys.
But so yes, there's the
The
discussion
third response. One of the most broken spells in D&D. Wizard knows your name, has demiplane, sucks to suck. No save, nothing. Just die.
Oh yeah, because
Because they could pull you into, like, the elemental plane of fire and leave you there. They could pull you into
because
the
the
astral
demiplane you cast demiplane, you go into it, you wait until the doors close, which is an hour. You use it on somebody and have a prepared action to
plane shift yourself.
To just walk through the gate. And then drop concentration.
Yeah.
Or you just, like, bring them in, drop concentration as soon as they're there, and then plane shift.
Yeah.
Like...
Or you banish yourself if you feel unlucky.
Or banish yourself.
Yeah. A lot of ways for you to get out, and they're stuck
and
in
then
the plane.
As long as they just will, like, die of dehydration.
Like, well, this is my life now.
Well, I guess, if you really wanted, you don't have to fight Tatsuya. You just leave him in there. Raiken might have something to say about that. I don't know.
My concern with just leaving him in there would be around him being able to contact Celestials and things and possibly finagle out of it.
He does seem to have some friends in high places.
Yeah. So I would be concerned about just attempting to leave him there. I think if we are going to do this, we're just going to kill him.
I mean, yeah, he has a certain best friend that can bring angels to it, though.
Besties.
But if we could get him gone without anybody else knowing, then Thandros would be the one taking over, and he's on our side.
Yep.
So it seems like
what
a good plan.
Yukikaze suggested to you.
That's a good plan. We wait until we're ready, and then we swoop him away when no one's around, and then we kill him and take.
No. There's no killing.
How else are we supposed to stop him?
We knock him out.
What if Bendar's purple worm poison dagger accidentally slips?
So no,
my arrow.
You're saying we lock him out.
And turns him to goo.
You're saying we knock him out. We can't. I don't think we have the resources to make sure that he is out of commission for the length of time that is necessary for this plan.
Best option
Which means
would be
the option would be kill him and then bring him back afterwards.
Yeah.
If you want him to not be dead at the end of things. You could kill him, gentle repose, put him in a demi-plane, and then
leave him in the
take care of business, and then revivify him.
There's also the issue, though, if he is still alive, then what's going to stop him from trying to implement this plan again immediately after? He's a danger to the world.
I am not going to let you kill my brother.
Is anyone capable of curses?
I guess he could be imprisoned afterwards, but...
Can we, like, curse him to where he can't ever speak of the scales to anyone or any kind of situation related to him?
I mean, you can use the gas spell.
Ooh, yes.
There's always the question of whether his celestial bonds will allow him to subvert anything that we try to do to him.
Are your two new spells going to be Geas and Gate?
I mean, if you cast it as a 9th level spell, the command is permanent.
Mm-hmm. You just have to spend an hour whispering in his ear.
A minute.
A minute?
Yeah, it's a minute.
God, in 3.5 it was an hour or something. It was a long time.
But yeah, so I suppose, although, God, the fact that it's removed by a remove curse spell.
I mean,
You
people
do
like
it twice. Once to command him not to do the thing, once to command him not to convey that he's under the effects of the spell.
Yeah.
But can't he just remove it himself if it's remove curse?
Oh yeah, paladins get remove curse, don't they?
No, you
Restoration.
could command him to be completely terrified of remove curse, so that you'll never want it ever.
Modify memory.
Also,
Can we
doesn't
perhaps
Fix
command
not
him
actually
to just
stop
not
them?
be interested in doing it again?
Well, I don't think that spell actually stops people from doing things. It just painfully discourages them not to.
Mm.
So yeah, I guess they take a lot of, I guess, while it's charmed by you, it takes the damage. It takes 5d10 psychic damage each time it acts in a manner directly counter to your instructions. No more than once each day.
That sounds like you could just tank the damage and tell people anyway.
Yeah, and that damage doesn't go up as the spell level goes up, just the duration. But they are, I guess, they are charmed by you for the entire duration. So this is a way to charm someone forever with a 9th level spell. But the technically the charmed condition doesn't make.
But the charm condition does make them want to use you, basically. Want to stay on your good side.
Yeah.
So if you perform a spell, and they remain charmed after the initiation of the spell, then for the duration of the time that they are charmed by you, and you don't break that charm effect by, like, punching them, then they're not going to be compelled to remove their own curse, or they're going to be, in fact, compelled not to.
Maybe that will work. If he's charmed, so he won't be interested in doing the things because that would go against you.
And then you can modify memory to remove the knowledge about how to seal, unseal, and all that kind of stuff. But that would be extensive and extremely invasive.
It might be worth it to prevent him from doing the damage, keep him alive. The easiest option would definitely be to kill him, but I understand why Raiken is adamantly against that.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can do it, if we can prevent him from being a danger without killing him, then we should do that.
Wait, you can't use that spell on an elf because elves can't be charmed.
No, they have resistance to charm.
Oh, they have resistance to charm. Right.
They can't be put to sleep magically.
Right, that's the one. Do both the Ancients Paladins have anything against being charmed? Devotion is charm.
Yes, devotion is charm. They cannot be geist.
Have we discussed how you pronounce that word?
Geis, gas, geis.
Gas and gesh.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So if it was Geis, I'd go, yeah, gesh.
Yeah, Geas.
Because apparently it's Irish.
No,
Spell.
It's Irish, it just means quest, I believe.
Like spell or curse or something like that.
I was thinking about you a lot when I played Bayonetta Origins, Thomas, because there's so much Irish words in that. I was like, I wonder how that is pronounced like.
In what?
Bayonetta Origins series and the Lost Demon.
Bayonetta.
Alright.
I didn't know that game existed. I've never heard of it.
What,
No,
Bayonetta?
it's
No,
a
Origins.
prequel. Yeah, it's a prequel that is very different. It's like more child friendly and built kind of like a like a picture book. It's
Mm,
very cute.
I didn't know.
I had never heard of that either.
I mean,
I
it
had.
released like
It's fairly recent.
yeah, it released like less than a month ago.
Oh, that'd be why. Are they trying to make a new Bayonetta? Or did they just come out with a new Bayonetta?
Well, 3, I think, came out a little while ago. Or is coming out.
November or something.
Didn't realize they were also making a smaller one. Or is it smaller or is it just different?
It's different. It's a prequel. It takes like you follow Bayonetta when she was a child.
Was it made by the same developer?
And just signed very differently.
Alright, so you guys are discussing very serious matters. Life and death of Raiken's brother, the taking command of his army, the fighting the dragons, and potentially being able to rely on the blue dragons for that fight.
So much going on.
The ball is, as they say, rolling.
Yeah, but there's a lot of rocks it's gonna hit.
It's your job to move those rocks out of the way. I guess after
Or you
a
put
fashion,
more rocks so that it bounces in an interesting way, and that's fine too.
I think after a fashion you
I
guys
think
are
they're
more
at the
like
right spot.
the brushers during curling.
Yeah, that seems pretty accurate.
But okay, so I just want to find out the current intended course of actions around Tatsuya. Gate him, kill him, gentle repose him, resurrect him after the events, and then cast a gas on him so that he won't attempt to do this again.
That sounds good.
I like it better than not killing, just straight up killing them.
Is anyone opposed to this? Does anyone have other... does anyone think that we should risk just casting gas on him after gating him and then sending him back to the army? My concern there is that people would be suspicious of his change in goal.
Yeah, I think it's
And
better
then-
to have him disappear without them knowing and have Thandros take over.
So I suppose in that case, the next important discussion is about what do we do, or what happens leading up to us kidnapping him in the night.
Do we want to proceed to Deco Celtis then? Or?
Well, my question was more, if Tatsuya vanishes, what?
We should probably send to Thandros at the least and let him know the plan.
Yes, he should certainly be aware of what's going to happen. We don't want him. Well, I suppose there's nothing that Tatsuya could do to stop us from doing this, short of finding us here and finding us before we do it and attacking us. So,
So
I
I guess the big
suppose-
questions that you've posed earlier that I don't want to have lost to the winds here, were you wanted to check if Tatsuya is aware that you aren't following the plan you told him, and you could do that with scrying, or you could do that with commune. Wanted to at some point go to Dichocelthus, and I want to know if this means you don't need to go to the White Scale at all.
Laramendus would prefer not to go to the White Scale.
Because he believes
Because
he's going to
Laramendus
die.
Yeah, Laramendus is like 80% sure that, like, just upon being aware of our existence there, we're just going to be attacked, and we're not going to get a chance to make any kind of case.
That would fall in line with how Tesnor has been. I wouldn't want to risk it either. If we don't have to, and it sounds like our plan does not involve us needing the White Scale. So. We could easily hand Thandros a fake, and he could go along with it because, you know, he's on our side.
I think the hope is that with Thandros on our side, he can convince the bulk of the army to go with our intended plan.
True. They can
That we
also
don't
just do
need to
that.
deceive them. If
What?
Tatsuya is gone and all hope is lost to being able to do the initial plan, or if the leadership decides that that plan is now too dangerous and has the support of as many countries as we can have the support of, then that seems okay.
I want Yukikaze and Raiken check religion for me.
Oh,
Because
not
it's
too bad.
pertinent to what you're asking.
Fuck.
Remember, you have that unused inspiration.
I do. I guess I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's even worse. I went from rolling a 4 so I got a 9 to a rolling a 1, so I got a 6.
Man.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Okay. And Yukikaze?
Above a 9.
Does Raiken's thing count also?
No, because this is for saving throws, and this is a skill check. You're checking the religion skill.
Come on.
Alright.
Come on.
It doesn't work on skills.
15.
15. Okay. So, for Raiken, since he rolled lower, what you know, the religion check, is that religious cults like a religious leader. You know that Tatsuya is leading a religious cult right now. That these people are devoted to the idea that he is a champion of Bahamut. That's what you know with your 9.
Oh,
That seems pretty
have a
logical.
new champion of Bahamut there.
With your
Take over the cult.
15, Yukikaze, you know that you are a champion of Bahamut, and you know that you were told by Shagrazir that there are, at any time, there can be, what's the word, contemporary champions of the same god that serve different aspects of that god. That is effectively what you are already doing with Tatsuya. You are serving different aspects of Bahamut. You are serving his justice aspect, and Tatsuya is serving his defeat Tiamat at all costs aspect. The other thing you know with your 15 is that people who are in religious cults need a religious leader, and if one goes down, it can be explained in a way that they will believe that they were unchosen.
You are being talked about.
It's true, you are.
You know, I just like to think that Raiken's just like, wait, he's a champion of Bahamut, so... And then Yukikaze's like, I'm also a champion of Bahamut. Raiken's like, what the fuck? You're a champion of Bahamut?
like you can see like two lights, you know, like and a wire, but like you can see like some electricity like trying to spark between things in Raiken's head.
The gears creak.
So that's
spider webs
something.
that fall off.
That's knowledge he has lost as well, isn't it?
If memory serves me right, didn't frickin' Bahamut specifically tell me that I can't get in the way of other champions?
Bahamut said that, you know, that's how the decorum usually works.
Okay. He didn't seem like he stressed like there would be him getting involved if I do, right?
I mean, sometimes you gotta break some rules, man.
I think so. I feel like you are aware of this. Gods act mostly through people. So, like, if you do a thing against one of the other people that he's acting through, then, like, he would need to get somebody else in a position to punish you for it.
He may do, like, if you enact this plan, he may do something to support Tatsuya because Tatsuya is also serving his goals. But
Yeah.
if you defeat Tatsuya and you're still serving other aspects of Bahamut, and in your mind you are serving an even greater good by preventing a great loss of life, which would be a huge injustice.
No, that's hugely. That is it.
Then you're still serving Bahamut, and while he may be displeased that even you know that the champion before you, who wore this armor, Shagrazir, did that, went against Bahamut's wishes in regards to his sister. And he's still remembered as a champion of Bahamut.
Yeah. Oh boy. I hope Bahamut doesn't intervene. I really don't.
But that is what your religion tells you, the two of you. You know that this can work because they have effectively become a cult under Tatsuya. And a change in leadership from one chosen religious leader to another chosen religious leader is something that a cult can survive. In fact, in the history of cults, many of them usurp the leader and puts in somebody who more represents the original ideals if the current leader seems to be straying. So they change leadership a lot.
I'm gonna be honest, I did not expect at the beginning of this campaign us to control a large military cult.
You know, 20 levels makes a big difference.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Who had military cult for bingo?
I did take
that was the free spot. PC's own a cult.
I wonder if Inspiring Leader has a limit to how many people I can give boost HP.
I feel like Inspiring Leader, the fact that you have that makes you perfect for this role. So have the two of you have made the suggestion to the group about the nature of cults and specifically the changing of leadership.
Yes, I feel like Raiken started it, and then Yukikaze knew more, so he was able to press on with it.
Filled in the thoughts to make the just idea, feasible.
Yeah.
Gotcha the tomatoes for that cult sandwich.
I feel like we cannot take that action until we have spoken with the Daikon and well, really, I think that's it. Just because I don't know how mobile we will feasibly be. Should we be in should Yukikaze be in charge? With Thandros still as his right hand, we can likely have some amount of mobility for if we need to go and do things. But I imagine things will be falling into place. Things will be moving quickly once we take this action.
Yeah, we probably want to be ready with everything else.
So, I will send to Kazanari that we wish for her and the Platinum Sentinels to remain in possession of the Black Scale unless they think it's in danger, until we get in contact again. I will send to Daiko Selphis so that we can speak with so that we can teleport there and speak to the Daikon. Do I have the fucking spell slots to do this shit? So technically, I do currently have enough sufficiently high-level spell slots to do 2 sendings in a teleportation circle. I have a 6th level, a 7th level, and a 9th level.
Okay.
Um,
Who's getting that 9th level? The teleportation circle?
I feel like it would be a teleportation circle just to save 50 gold.
You don't want to slap God in the face with some words?
If you just like, if you can show me the circle, I can use teleport to have the same effect.
That is true. So I could save my 9th level. The other, if I could have my arcane recovery, which is the short rest of studying my book, I can get back my 3rd level spell slots.
I mean, it's been a pretty heavy discussion. You've technically gotten a short rest, but I don't know that you've been studying your book throughout it.
He has definitely not been studying his book for arcane recovery, and I know we've usually rolled that that's an important part of it.
But if you want some health back, you can roll your hit dice, because you do get that.
That I think I will do, yeah.
Yeah. All right. How's everybody feeling about this new set of plans?
Yeah, it is interesting, and we'll have to see if it works.
Trying to make sure to play into the way people have developed their characters and give them knowledge that maybe the player didn't think of, but the character would.
I mean, if you're trying to move a cult or something, that's the idea, right? Like trying to get Yukikasa's Tatsuya's followers to follow us instead.
That seems to be a potential plan, yeah.
Yeah.
Usurp it.
So if you're gonna try that, I mean, my girls could help, I guess. If they could rile up the crowd from the inside, not being one of us.
Aren't they on the wrong landmass?
Yeah,
Has
they're
that
also
stopped
not
us before?
one of the. They would have to join the army to really do that, and there's not a lot of time.
And
Guess.
unless I'm thinking of the wrong girls, they're non-magically inclined children.
Yeah.
Just got called children.
I've spent 6 hit dice. I am up to 96.
But they are.
What are you?
Well, I mean, Elise says yes. Leah will probably be questioning that, but he said they are.
Yeah, but you know they're your age.
As far as I said, non-magically inclined. I tried to make it.
I mean, Leah is a child, but she's not a normal child. She is an incredibly powerful child.
Yeah, that, pretty much.
I was distracted while I was dealing with my hit dice stuff. What are we suggesting using children for?
Murder.
What? No.
A distraction thing.
Yeah, distraction is more like what I was thinking, but
Cannon hype men.
Distraction for what?
Well, if they can spread news about maybe Yukikasa being the champion or something, it could get people to question Tatsuya.
I think that there's already talk about Yukikaze's status as a champion of Bahamut. We are not
amongst the
subtle.
Army with the armor.
And yeah, we did make a big show before we had all of it. So I mean, things there. But we had a very showy moment there. I think that we don't need to involve children in spreading more rumors about ourselves in that respect.
Fine, I'm just trying to be helpful.
Time to go home, Leah. They don't want to involve children.
What home?
I mean, I was out of character from Laramentis' perspective. All children.
We're all youngins.
The oldest of you is 26.
Yeah, that wasn't the ping.
My bad.
We are all quite young in this group.
Except for him.
Except for
I
him. He's not that old for an elf even, but compared to us, yes, he's much older.
Herman it's like he's in his 40s. Like his early 40s.
He's middle-aged. Early middle-age.
This is a hell of a midlife crisis there, Lair. Most people just buy a car. You go and fight dragons.
But, I'd have to invent a car, and Nalia's already working on that bus. So
working on that bus to throw you under.
But yeah. So I think that there's already enough talk about Yukikaze's status that we likely won't need to more discussions, more rumors spreading, more people talking than already are to convince the army that we are do let's get any other mind control spells. It's next question. Mind control spells are always really fun. Theramentous has very few of them.
Yeah, well, I see gas, but
you should be able to just filter druid on enchantment and see what's there.
oh, is it enchantment?
Enchantment would be the school of magic for anything that's going to be a mind control spell.
A charm person. Yes. Sympathy, antipathy, and feeble mind. Yeah, dominate.
Yeah, so really just charm person.
I didn't know if
monster,
dominate beast would be like charm. Well, they do get charm monster, right? So that's.
Yeah, you mean like in the of like a dominate monster, because there's dominate person,
right,
which is only humanoids,
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you got charm monster, charm person, yes, and sympathy, antipathy.
Sympathy, antipathy is not really a mind controlling thing.
Cause a specified creature to feel an intense urge to approach the target. Let me see. This is just a combat thing.
Yeah. Unless you create a magical item with sympathy on it that just draws things to come near it and then die.
You create an idol that draws people toward it so that they listen to you. You make a oh my god. Well, I know what my bad guy in my next campaign is doing.
A staff with sympathy on it?
Yeah.
Well, have those bad guys handy. You might need them soon enough.
But yeah, so back to plan at hand. Tell Kazunari to hold on to the scale until we can, until we are needing it for what we need to do with it, just to prevent too many of these things from being in the same place at the same time. Unless it is believed to be in danger, in which case we can attempt to figure out what we do with them. Send to Daiko Selthus to go and meet with the Daikon. Go to Daiko Selthus and to meet with the Daikon. Kidnap, murder, gentle repose,
Gas.
Tatsuya, and then usurp him. No, that's after we've done the thing. That's after we bring him back.
Oh my gosh. So they're still killing Tatsuya.
Right? And that was my understanding.
Permanent.
Alright.
Just temporarily kill him.
I do feel obligated to point out what I perceive to be a logical fallacy with your first sending to Kazunari. If only because a couple of things. One, she is not in possession of the Scale of Shashar, and
Right.
it is with
Yeah,
the
right.
Sentinels in Tuka. Two, the next time you're going to need it, you want all the scales in one place because you want to be performing those rituals, unless you really are just going to perform one ritual to lock out the possibility of anything else. But, I mean, at this point, that seems moot. You're going to have all 3 dragons there. You want to put them down.
Oh yeah, no, I meant, like basically, I don't want to go and fetch it now.
Okay. If it travels
necessarily.
normally, which very likely it will, because unless you go and get it with teleportation,
Yeah.
it's going to have to travel normally. It will take time to reach the north.
Mhm. So my concern there is just something happening to it on trans. I feel in Laramendis' mind, it's likely to be safer being stationary,
Okay, so you...
and then us getting it.
Okay. As long as you understand that that's what'll be required, and that
Yeah.
transiting a single scale through a teleportation thing is risky because of the anti-magic.
Yeah. But if we go to pick it up
Mhm.
and then leave with it.
Mhm.
So I guess there's the question, is it, if there are 3 together, what does that do
I
to
mean, you
the anti-magic thing?
You did see what happened when there were 3 together.
It appeared to make it go even faster.
Right, 3 was bad.
So mechanically, what has happened, and your very high intelligence and Cyrus already made these saves so he can help you formulate this. When you have 1 scale, it's causing that pulsing of anti-magic, which basically mechanically gives you a 33% spell failure chance when you're doing things around it. And anything ongoing is, if it comes within 15 feet, is going to get pulsed and, turned off at this, what is it, twice, 2 to 3 times a second. When you have 2 together, they nullify each other, so there is no anti-magic. When you have 3 together, which is what you just witnessed, they multiply each other, and you have a 66% spell failure chance.
Yeah.
So
I guess that is a good point, that teleporting with it is... Well,
you can run some
we could
experiments and figure out a way around this.
we can teleport to them, put it in a bag of holding,
Yep.
and teleport away.
You do
Because
know
we've
that.
done teleporting lots of times with it in the bag of holding, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So I feel relatively confident that with an expenditure of resources, that, to be fair, we might be concerned about spending closer to the time, we could get it without having to worry about something happening to it in transit.
Which is totally fine. I just wanted to make sure that you'd put the thought
Yeah,
in.
yeah. No, it's a good thing to call out. So I guess to everyone, do we want to... what is the travel time for a not us from Tuka to Daicoselthus?
When you were traveling normally, I believe it took you like 4 days traveling down the rivers with the current. So it would be somebody doing a push barge against the current, so you could imagine 5 to 6 days because of going against the current.
And I think we also were they were paid for like a rush order kind of thing. So
Yeah,
they
they
were
were.
faster than most people would have been wanting
They
to
had
anyway.
they had more pullmen on your particular barge up until the point a bunch of them got eaten, and then you guys had to do pullman.
Right, the rock showed up.
Hydras and other things.
The hydras, the rock. It was a rough ride. Somebody
it
had
was a time.
pissed off the spirit of the North River.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So do people think we should ask them to bring it to Daicoselthus, and that we have a decent chance of still being there in... Oh, I don't think we have a decent chance of being there in a week.
In a week.
Yeah, no, we'll probably go there and be gone soon. I think we should just teleport to Tuka and get it in a day or 2.
Just
That's
hang
right. At the
out.
very least, I can't teleport. We can't expend the resources to go and get it today. So at the earliest, we could get it tomorrow.
I think that's fine. It would take longer than that for it to travel to Dichoselphis.
Okay, so send to Kazanari that her associates should remain in possession of it, and that we will be in contact again about coordinating us picking it up, likely tomorrow or the next day. And if we are not picking it up tomorrow, we will still let them know that that is the case. I think that's a reasonable expenditure of a third level spell slot, just to make sure that we're keeping them up to date about our movements regarding it. Yes?
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay. So that one, coordinating using the teleportation circle at Dichoselphis, and then teleporting there. And then, I guess, what do we say to Gabriel?
We gotta convince her of the plan, right?
Explaining the situation is reasonable enough. As far as what we tell her everything about the current state of things. I do remember that I promised that next time we were there, I was going to race turtles with her.
This is going to be so good.
I don't think I'm going to roll well.
We're here to discuss important matters of life and death for the whole world. Time to race turtles.
It's like, you promised me, Larry. And it's like, yes.
The old I did what?
Do we have time for this? I mean, do you have time to break a promise? When you're asking me for a favor? Fuck! Fine.
How long could it possibly take?
They're turtles.
They're probably not racing far.
I think it's around the lake.
Three full night cycles and no mobs should be around.
Or it's like,
Around the entire lake? That's a lot.
It was not a small distance, I think.
How do they get the turtles to go?
You asked them nicely.
And what if they don't want to?
You bribed them.
With carrots.
But yeah, so I suppose we explain the whole situation. Do we explain about the acquiring a cult? Or do we just, I suppose we tell her that we think we can turn the army, we can convince the army to work with us for these goals? I assume that she is aware of what they are currently attempting to do.
Well, look at you to assume.
Being the leader in the world, you may assume that she has more information than the average peasant. And as you were informed before, the Shikawans were going to be agitated by the Empire of the Four Queens moving troops through their sovereign territory.
Yeah, so she has decent reason to be more informed than other people. I suppose whether she knows the true extent of killing Tiamat is a potentially different question. But we can find out. What type of aid are we? We're seeking military assistance and the asking her to be dealing with the other leaders who are going to start getting together and figuring out about how to deal with this extremely ancient dragon who will remain alive after the events and likely to be prepared for that eventuality. Other people might be able to put things more delicately than that.
Raiken's not delicate.
Yeah, it's not exactly our strong suit.
Fair enough. I suppose we can just explain things how we see them and see what we can, how things go with the discussion there.
My thought is that we take out the 3 dragons now, and if Elsmith is seriously a problem afterwards, then we can talk about reacquiring the scale and dealing with him afterwards.
I think that is not a thing that should be said in any way that is not as garbage as we currently are.
Indeed.
Until
Yeah,
after the events of what is going on. And I also think it unlikely that anyone will be able to do that.
well, we have the ability to find the skill no matter where they try to hide it. The question will be whether we would be able to reacquire it, even knowing where it is. But anyway, that's all for possible future stuff after we deal with the current thread. So
One step at a time.
Give me your sendings.
6th level. This is my lowest.
It's tough being the center of attention during downtime. So, who's excited to take on the spiritual leader of an army cult?
Sky.
The other problem with that is that I need those spells, which
You
is
need to make sure you level up.
I mean, to be like, if
Or see
Yeah,
if
'cause
Daikon Gabriel has them in her library.
yeah,
And by that I mean her archmage.
yeah,
Not unreasonable.
Or you could gain XP with fighting just as many simulacrums as I can produce.
because I need gate. I don't technically need gas yet because we're just gonna kill him. So I need gate, and then I guess for Raiken's benefit, I need gentle repose.
Does Raiken have
Hell
gentle
yeah, you
repose?
Does Raiken have gentle repose?
Oh. Does Raiken have access
gentle repose?
to gentle repose?
I have never even heard of that spell before.
It's okay.
First level spell, much worth checking.
It's a first level necromancy spell.
I do not.
Cleric, wizard, and circle of spores.
Oh. Oh well. Sorry, paladins. No gentle repose.
We do not have a cleric.
So,
I am the wizard.
so if I was Desmond, I would have had it. That's next campaign.
Desmond a cleric or a circle of spores?
No, he's a cleric.
Okay. Is he a cleric of cord?
No, he was not going to be under cord.
I'm only teasing. But yes.
I'm gonna send her 40 words, and she's gonna be like, "What the absolute fuck?"
And that's her sending. So you have to send another thing because her sending didn't answer you.
It's gonna start with just, "Dear God, 6th level. Why? What is happening?"
Sending from my friend. Oh, it's still going. It's still going. It's what is happening.
I hope whatever this is includes a request for access.
For access?
To the teleportation circle. Because I'd rather not.
That's the only reason to send this.
I was going to use the 7th level spell for that. But
Oh,
I
you're
guess
sending
technically-
her to two sendings?
No, so because we have 2 I need to send, because I need to send to Kazanari and to the Archmage of Dagon Selphus.
Okay.
Um,
Oh.
but
I just figured you would have requested. Yeah, I was with Cyrus there. I thought that you were just going to also send to the Daikon and be like, by the way, I need access to the teleportation circle. We're coming in hot.
I was going to send to the Archmage for that, but I suppose just because it is probably better for her to be more aware. God, now I got okay. I'm switching. Kazanari is getting the 7th level spell ascending, which has a lower
word count.
Yeah, so it's back to 25.
Yes, it goes back to 25 at 7th
cool.
level. Need those extra 15 words to be like, don't kill me when I teleport in, please.
I would like to not be enemy of the state.
Raiken, no poof, please.
Raiken gets poofed. What? All that's left is the Pokeball.
Kazanari then. I'm just going to say your people should hold scale for now. We'll be in position, meet up, pick up tomorrow or day after. We'll send to coordinate. I think that conveyed what we had said we needed to send to Kazanari, right?
I believe so.
Everyone?
That's
All right. If important things to discuss regarding national security,
Accurate.
please advise. You see, like that one I hit 24 words for. So have important things to discuss regarding national security. Would like to access your teleportation circle and arrange a meeting as soon as you can. That's 24 words. That does not convey the oomph behind things of having 40 words.
okay. Then add some fluff. Elaborate.
Okay, first I need to end it with looking forward to turtle racing.
Looking forward to hearing from you.
Them turtles.
It's a scene from IT crowds. It's amazing.
I hope this message finds.
I'm gonna say the name that my turtle was, but my turtle was named after one of the Ninja Turtles.
Chris Angel's lesser
Molasses. Because I'm saying, ending with looking forward to turtle racing. Hope Molasses is still in shape.
Larry Molasses died 100 years ago.
Turtles gonna get old though, like really old.
Mine was technically a tortoise, and they can live 100, at least 100, and even more than that.
Sea
Okay.
turtles can too.
Have important things to discuss regarding national security. We have information regarding dragons. Would like to access your teleportation circle and arrange a meeting as soon as you can. Looking forward to turtle racing. Hope Molasses is still in shape.
Okay.
I feel like that's reasonable enough. Is there anything more important than the turtle bit?
Don't think so.
No.
Nothing's more important than turtles.
And I will mark off 6th and 7th level sendings. I now have 3 first levels, 3 second levels, and a 9th level.
400 to 500 years.
Hmm?
Apparently, researchers think some giant turtles can live 400 to 500 years.
Damn.
It's hard to tell because people aren't usually there when the tortoise is born, and 400 to 500 years is a shit long time.
To keep an eye on a single tortoise.
Yeah, imagine somebody keeping an eye on a tortoise from the 1500s. Still around.
For the benefit of the stream and stuff, I will read all the other players. I will read the sending that I got from Kazunari. Moving north with Tritons. Will inform chapter ready for you. Army still training. New arrivals limited. Move with speed and safety.
Wow, 40 exactly.
Nice. It's always real fun.
I mean, I let her use more words because she felt like she had the space for it, so it's less condensed.
Yeah, but it's always fun with like like okay, have a little bit of breathing space, and so you're like, I'll be like less broad, like less tight with it, and then you hit it exactly, and it's like yes.
I'm a quick study.
I think it just takes a minute, like per the spell. And I believe that teleporting in and out is a thing that I was the one thing for Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum that I did not disallow.
Yes.
Because I wanted to be able to teleport out of here.
Yes.
So,
that is correct.
I for the benefit of the stream and for everyone else, I will read the sending, their reply. Such a sending. Glad to know you are still alive and well. Please arrive soon. We'll open portal security for next 30 minutes. Hope you have good news. Oh, Molasses is as surprised the day she hatched. Well, at least that's good news. Raised her the other day. Like good news. I suppose the news isn't as bad as it could be. Which
Raised her the other day.
Is good.
It only took 7 hours.
But I will pull out my book and show Cyrus the teleportation circle, and say, I think that it is prudent for us to go now, unless anyone has a reason why they think we should wait.
Anyone need to use the bathroom? Better can now, because they're not turning the teleportation circle around.
The only thing that I can think of...
When you're there.
The only thing that I can
Psychoselphus?
think of would be if we want to be under a telepathic bond. I imagine that the one that we're currently under is kind of at its end.
Since we've been talking the entire session, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Correct.
So Yukikazu's been like half listening to everything, and she has like a pad and a pen, and he's writing down stuff.
I think Laramendus doesn't want to push for a telepathic bond. He'll suggest he'll suggest it, that like it is a thing that we could do. We have the time for it, but unless people have a strong desire for it, I think that we should not.
I don't know about right now.
There's also the question of propriety entering.
Exactly. That's why. Like, I don't want us to get into a situation where, like, she says something and we all just, like, pause and look at each other for, like, a minute and then turn to, like, that seems like we're coming from a place of not trusting her.
Yeah.
And one, Laramendus, like, has known her for so long at this point that, like, he wouldn't want to do that to a friend. And two, we're basically coming to her to ask her for help. And so being rude that way seems like a bad idea.
Does seem rather ill-advised, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we need telepathic bond for this.
So, if all aboard is coming aboard, and then I cast teleport, starting the circle that I can see in the book.
Alright. You cast teleport to take the party to a teleportation circle that you now know. And I will end it there. And you will arrive in Dicoselthus next session.
Excellent. It's been so long since we've been there. I'm excited. I like that place a lot.
Good job,
It's a fun city.
I would like everyone to receive 3,000 experience points.
3,000. Yay, it's gone up even.
As
So
many
close.
important decisions were made, good participation was had, and we are moving this train out of the station.
Yes.
Oh, snap.
3,178 more, and I'm level 19.
Moving this train out of the station. Next stop, fratricide.
Temporary fratricide. Alright. That's your 3,000 experience, then we'll see you next time, which, Jebel, not next week, the week after?
Might be the week after.
Okay,
Maybe.
but definitely not next week.
Not next week.
Okay.
You said 3,000.
3,000. 3, try 0. Alright. Thank you for being here, and have a good night, everybody. Bye, stream.
Goodbye.
Bye.